Hey there, this is Get Your Naughty On. I am going to go over today on how I do my paracord lanyards, the 4-strand braid with the cobra at the bottom, using the braiding disc. So let's get started. We are going to have two colors that are, these are cut to length at 4 feet. And then I've got two other colors that are cut to length to 5 feet, and then I have one each of those colors that are cut to 2 feet each, and then they are joined here. So let's get started. And the 5 feet cords are what we're gonna work with first, and our lanyard clip here. So we are going to make a cow's hitch with a little bit of space at the end. And then we'll leave that there. We'll take the other one. Just make that snug. Then from here, we are going to take our cords that were cut to length, that were one of each color, that were 2 feet, and then joined. And then we're going to start with our cobra. I usually, whichever color I have here, that's the one I bring over and start it that way. And then I try to keep those flat too. So the two colors that I'm using today, one of them is called Titanium, that I got at my local Michael's craft store, and then I've got just plain black paracord that came from Paracord. Here is where you can, however you want to end this is your preference, whether you want to take these ends and, you know, maybe put them on a lacing needle, or, you know, kind of loosen these up and thread it through and then snip and singe in the middle there, or if you would much rather, which I'm going to do for this video, is just you know, snip and singe on the edges there. part that I'm really trying to get at is to really how do you do the 4-strand braid on a braiding disc without using your hands. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide this. We got 2 on this side, and then we got 2 on this side. We're going to start with the left side, and then I am going to take my braiding disc and run those 2 through there. And then you are going to have a north end, and you're going to have a south end. Then we're going to take our secondary color from the middle, and then you're going to have the west end and then the east end. The other thing that is very important on this is that once you start this braid, you'll want to make sure that you have it anchored down. So what I do is I usually take the corner of this jig here and I put this part through there, and then I just take that. It's just really like a little rubber band, so that way it can't turn on me. Okay, so now the 4-strand braid on a braiding disc. So whichever one you actually decide, like say like north, when you bring it down it goes to the right, so it'll stay on the right side, and then south will always stay to the left on the north side. And then the same thing with east and west. So if I take east and I move it over here to the top and keep it like where it folds over on the top, then west will always fold down on the bottom to east. So we're going to start, and I'm just going to kind of move south over to the little bit, move my top one there, and then move the south one up. And the other important thing is to kind of flip directly your cords over so that they don't twist. So you want to work out any kinks as your kinks and twist over, so that east will stay on top, like right here, top and then bottom. And then this is all you do pretty much throughout this whole braid. You just want to make sure, because if it has any twist, what it does is it actually will twist up your braid, and then you'll have to work with it for a few minutes to work out those twists, you know, and it still won't really be 100% like straight. And this is just my way of doing it. The other guys that do theirs, they do them freehand, and it's fine. Everybody has their own method to their madness. This way seems to work good for me, just because, you know, our household is usually chaotic, and it is kind of difficult for me to sometimes be able to complete any project that I'm really kind of working on from start to finish without having to be interrupted. So the disc actually gives me, like, I can put it down, walk away, and come back, and then it's still tight, just as if, you know, I were working on it freehand. Like I never even left it. And the other goal is to kind of help keep the amount of tightness consistent with each braid, so that way, you know, all the slants, they all look even. once we're done with this end, we would then add in our breakaway clasp. And then the Dazzle-It disc, I got that from, I believe I got it from Joann's craft store. I believe that's where I got that from. But usually if you're looking for one, you'll find it around the beads, where all the tools that they use for the wire and the beads and stuff. But I will say the disc is probably like one of the best investments paracording wise that I've made, just because it almost doesn't matter which project I'm working on. Even if I'm not using the disc, then I can actually just kind of feed it through here and kind of walk my strands, because sometimes I find that if it's a very thick bracelet, then my binder clips or my alligator clips don't work as well, and I end up having some strands that'll end up loosening up on me. Sorry, I really try to keep my hands out of the way, but it's so that way you can actually see how this braid is coming out. And so that way, I mean, without making sure that your strands are flat and untwisted when you're taking it over, it really creates this to be nice, flat and straight. Because beforehand, when I first did mine freehand, when I finally understood how this braid really worked, it was ended up with a twist. Like even this was twisted, so it looked like a swirly candy cane. I'm going to kind of rush here and get to the end of this strand just so that way you can kind of see how I end this side, because then you'll just repeat this process for the other side, and then this will complete your paracord 4-strand round braid lanyard. And this is one of the braids that, depending on what you're doing it for, depends on the tightness you make these. So if you were making it maybe for a dog leash, you might want to do it a little tighter. But with it being for a lanyard, you would probably want to keep it a little more loose, so that way it ends up being a little more flexible. So I think this is plenty long enough. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the black and pinch it here in the center and go ahead and pull everything away. And I'm also going to take my scissors. I want to kind of cut a little close here. Make sure those cords are down. And then I'll go over it one last time just to kind of smooth out the edges. Okay, so that kind of ends the black there. Then we're going to take it off the disc and just kind of see how this lanyard is, how it lays. So that way when we come down here to add our breakaway clasp, I am going to add it where it's kind of face down on this side. And you can use the barrel clasps too, the breakaway ones. So that sums up this end. And then from there, like if you do have any twist or, you know, uneven spots like right here, that one's. Anyways, what you'll do is you'll kind of squish it and then expand it. And you'll kind of like, you can either push down like on a color. So that way, like if you had a shorter one here that you wanted to push that longer one too. And you can just kind of like, just keep kind of moving it down. It might take you some time, but that's pretty much how you would work out any twist or any unevennesses. You just kind of have to keep squishing and expanding it. But that is going to be the 4-strand braid on a disc instead of using freehand. And then I'm going to finish up the other side off the video. But I hope you guys have a good day, and thank you. Get your naughty on.